Good morning, you all. Another beautiful day in Boulder, Colorado. And we can make it even more beautiful if we remember to carry peace with us wherever we go. Because it only takes a small faction, a small group of people really holding the ideal of peace, consideration, forgiveness, and prayer. It only takes a small group of people to be shifting the collective consciousness of humanity. And that's what we're called on to do. Look away from the madness of the world and carry with us the beauty and the peace of life. So is there anybody here from another unity? Raise your hand if you are. We have a fabulous gift for you. Okay. Anybody here for the first time? Keep your hand up. We have a fabulous gift. All right, since we haven't given out the new Lexus, give it to that person. All right. So we are here by divine appointment, whether we know it or not. We are all here by divine appointment. You can't get into that level of understanding called unity unless you have arrived in that place in consciousness where you can take this in and carry it out with you into your life. You're really going to love this talk that's going to be given by Syntysche. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Those of you who are joining us here in person and those of you who are joining us online, thank you for hanging out and all spending time together. We got a few announcements of upcoming events here at Unity of Boulder. We have, as far as what's coming up in the future, we have our holiday craft fair that we're going to have in December. We're going to have it on December 3rd and December 10th. Those are 2 Sundays. And if you we're looking for vendors, of anyone who has any sort of homemade or handmade crafts and you'd like to have a table to sell, please see Heather in the bookstore. We've got quite a few tables. It's just $50 a day for one table. So just sign up. Space is limited for that. So get on that as soon as you feel like you'd like to do that. Or if you know anyone else who does that, who sells stuff at craft fairs, please let them know and give them our number. Speaking of Christmas, we also are doing our annual holiday Christmas wreath fundraiser, where we will order holiday wreaths, and it's a fundraiser for Unity of Boulder. They're 24 inches. They're really good size. It's a $40 donation to get one, but we do need to know by the end of this month so we can order them, because they do have to make them. They're all handmade, and they are absolutely wonderful. All right, let's talk about Halloween. Next Sunday, we are having our annual Children's Halloween party. From 5 to 7. It'll start over here in Fellowship Hall, and it's a potluck to start out with. And then there's all sorts of fun and games downstairs. Our older kids make haunted houses for the kids. Let everyone you know, all children are invited to attend this. Come dressed up, come hungry, come ready for fun. But we have a good time with that every year, and it seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. So please tell anyone you know who has kids, this is a great, fun, free, safe holiday thing to take your kids to. So that is next Sunday from 5 to 7. And then the following, not this Friday, but the following Friday, which I believe is the 27th, we are going to be having an adult Halloween party. This one isn't for kids. It's kind of just a social mixer. We are inviting you to dress up in a costume. You don't have to sign up. You're just showing up here at 7 o'clock on Friday the 27th and be ready to have a party here at Unity. All right, that is everything I have today. All right, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all here today. So this is the moment in our service we call the call for prayer. And if you have anyone in your life that you'd like to say a prayer for, or you're welcome to pray for yourselves, there's sheets in the pews in front of you. You can write a name down. Obviously, there's plenty of things for us to be praying for as a collective right now. So to write it down, Steve Sheets will come down the aisle and collect from this middle aisle, so please pass them down this way. And we'll sing this song as a song to call into the universe, and we ask you to join us as you learn it and just sing it into this. As a collective energy, we're going to bring healing and light to this world. So it is.
And now I'd like to welcome to our stage, actually welcome back to our stage, today's musical guest, Rebecca Abraxas. Welcome, Rebecca. For those of you who don't know, Rebecca doesn't just perform on our stage. Every third Friday of the month, she does an illuminated sound circle downstairs in our meditation room, and it's from 7:30, and it's this Friday, 6:30 to 8:30. It's $20 if you get your tickets beforehand online or in the office. You can call us for that, or it's $25 at the door. Go check it out. It's a wonderful event that's catching on, and the crowd's getting a lot bigger for us. Go check that out this Friday at 6:30. Rebecca Abraxas.
Tears coming down more than I thought they would. Thought I could make a change without feeling the pain. There's nothing left to do except let go of being so good, and let go of the chains from this ugly shame. Let the rain come down, let the rain come down. My mirror shows me more than I want to see. Now I can't stop wondering which scars came first. I want to answer questions I haven't yet asked, and see which of my shadows has the biggest thirst. Let the rain come down, let the rain come down. I want to feel the rain deep in my bones and in my soul. Let the rain come down, let the rain come down. There's nothing to worry about, 'cause life puts it all in place. It's like a big game. I have seen what trying too hard can do, and put you in a bad mood. So let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. I wanna feel the rain deep in my bones and in my soul. Let the rain come down.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to start. I just want to read a quote and ask you if you know who said this. Look, an hour is coming and has already come when you will be scattered, each to his own home, and you will leave me all alone. Yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation. But take courage, I have overcome the world. Who said that? Jesus said that. And who is Jesus in truth unity to us? The highest conscious example of us in this world. While we observe a world that's in tribulation. And since this last summer, we've been talking about the fact that so many things have been being cleaned out of the world. Like, we've been seeing so much discord, so much tribulation for the last few years. And it started to feel like the light was dawning. We're feeling a little bit more dawning going on in our life. We could feel that all of this deep work, all of this dark night of the soul that we all were personally going through as the fall away of jobs, fall aways of friends, falling away from personal communities because of dictates and demands of what we believed is right or wrong, and so much separation happened over the last 3 years. We were finding a collective again and a sense of omnipresence in our oneness. And then a few weeks ago happened, and we're observing war in a way that we knew could come up anytime, because this war has been going on between these two people based on God and based on territory. And I want to speak to that today, because the idea of I have overcome the world, he's saying that we will scatter to our own homes as we observe these things that are not in balance. They're inharmonious. There still is separation between religions. And I know that the God we all practice and meditate as would never see this type of separation in this world. As we see our brothers and sisters warring and putting themselves in great, great danger. Children, innocent children, families, homes being destroyed over a piece of land that they're fighting who gets to worship there. This place outside of ourselves that we want to worship somewhere. A sense that God lives in a particular area. Right? If we really think about that that this is an adorned area, and it is. Throughout our Bible, we do know it is an adorned area. But that habitation of peace is within us. That's always been the highest conscious goal, is unity between all religions. Recognizing it doesn't matter which path takes you to this connection with this greater power we call love, source, spirit, God. All roads that lead to God are good. What matters your faith or mine, all come together in the divine. And so we sit here and we observe. And I'm sure if you're a deeply empathic, intuitive person, you can feel the discord of the world in your walks in nature and in this feeling of this sort of panicky feeling, because we're all one. We can't have all this disturbance happening that might seem so far away, and yet it's in the very midst of us, because the whole goal is to create heaven in the midst of us. Jesus said that. So when others are at war, how do we stay in peace? And we wonder, how can we help? What can I do? What can I do? That's the biggest question on my mind, and I'm sure it's on your mind. What can we do? So in Unity, we're taught that truth is a universal flow. Truth words, even the great utterance of master teachers, simply point to the reality of the universe that can only be experienced firsthand as a flow from within ourselves. As a flow from within ourselves. So, as I'm sure we tune into the news and check in, because it's good to be knowing what's going on in our world, but not become obsessed over watching the discord, right? I kept myself from watching the discord for, almost 2 weeks now, and yesterday I was having anxiety because I wasn't looking and seeing, right? I need to know what's going on in the world because I'm feeling it just build up in me, and I watched it for about an hour yesterday, and that was enough. That was plenty. The sense of helplessness to watch such innocence get taken over by division, by ego, by financial differences, by one religion being better than the other. Emmet Fox said, "Life is consciousness." Life is consciousness. So when we take to task our own thoughts and consciousness about these moments, and we ask questions like, what can I do? This is our chance to really deeply go inward and find the places that we have not found peace within ourselves. It's an opportunity to take an outer circumstance and bring it within us and heal the wars within ourselves. To find the truth that was promised to us, that we are perfect children of God. Therefore, nothing can hurt us, make us afraid, or make us sick. That we are perfect now. And in whatever way in physicality or in life right now we're experiencing something different than that, then that is a good gauge of where the healing needs to start. Healing within us, inward, out. This is the truth consciousness, right? It is a great concept that has helped many persons to change their way of thinking and living. However, there's so much more involved than is normally recognized. Consciousness is not just what we may be thinking about consciously. It is also the deeper than conscious thought accumulation in the subconscious mind. And it refers to the relationship we have with the all-ness of God, source, spirit. Whichever word feels holy and represents the love of the universe as you, flowing through you. As truth students, we are witnessing from heart and mind a world that is in peril. We ask ourselves, what part of this am I responsible for? What part of this can I lean in and help with? As we stand from this vantage point, from a land far from the destruction, we are questioning. We ask why our brothers and sisters at war with each other? Why so many casualties in the name of God? In the world, you have tribulation, but I have overcome the world. There will always be tribulation in this world. It's part of the yin and the yang. Many people find their light from the darkness, the hardships of their life. When we get brave enough to finally say, this road that I've been on that is no longer fulfilling my heart and my desires and my being because I'm not loving myself enough to allow healthy relationships. I'm not putting myself in a place where I'm revered as a kind and loving person that I know I already am. It's all these areas that we've cut ourselves off from this greater something, where we forgot that there's something bigger and greater moving in and through us always. And that's what that statement is saying when he's saying, you will all go to your separate houses and scatter during things like this, and you will lose me, which he is saying, I'm the greatest example of the Christ light in the human form. And don't worry about me because I have transformed this world. I have overcome the world. And through him, through his Christ-light example, we also can overcome the world. That doesn't mean that we still don't feel grief for the things of the world that hurt us, to watch as we have grown our consciousness, and if it doesn't affect us and we don't feel a sense of oneness or connection to this, then we probably have to start deeply feeling more and more too. Because feeling is such a beautiful part of this life. And feeling means we have to feel all of it. The joys, the loss, the grief, the growing moments, the births, the deaths, the resurrections, it's all those ebbs and flows. That's why I put these birds that I don't know if you can really see them. If there's a way we can darken back there so we can see these birds and the unity between them. I think it's such a beautiful example of what we really and truly are. There's a divine dance where they're all doing this dance together. You watch the shifts. It's not wind that's shifting. It's an intuition. It's a connection. It's a sense of wholeness in numbers. God has given us so many examples of the perfection of what we all can be in unity, right? So Jesus says, I have overcome the world. And metaphysically, which was in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary that Charles Fillmore wrote and broke down every word that's in the Bible to tell us what it means metaphysically, this is what the world means. The world is a state of consciousness formed through the belief in the reality of things external. It leads one to follow standards of living based on human beings' opinions rather than truth, rather than spiritual truth. So our understanding is that the spiritual truth and consciousness comes from within. So we don't blame one side or the other side of what's being faced out here. They're all children of God that are experiencing separation. And really, in the end, have the same goal. They want to be able to worship their God. And how is there one side that has a say over what that spot is? This prayer place that has healed so many. So when we talk about what it means to live from within out, this means that the whole universe is concentrated at the point where you are. We can only meet it where we are meeting it, where we are, because there's always deeper and deeper values and understanding and moral compasses and mission statements and things that we really and truly are, that we need to discover so we can bring all that healed wholeness to this moment, right here. Let's start right here in our community, here in our families, here in our marriages, here with our employees or our bosses. Practicing this type of peace in the very midst of our moment now. More than this, you are the universe expressing as you. You are its living enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. So that's almost like wind. This full resource is blowing through you. That's how we see God is. It's blowing, it's moving in and through us. And we're learning from each other. We're getting those pieces and the answers by our conversations, by our community, by our being with one another. Instead of us running to our separate houses and trying to defend our own lands, but finding the one land, the one Christ consciousness, the one, whatever religion it is, finding our oneness in this prayerful place. Finding where they all agree. Treat your neighbor as yourself is in every single religion. Every single one. It's called the Golden Key. That's where they're all united. So you are its living enterprise. It forever stands behind you with its full resources. However, the fullness of this universal support comes through you and not just to you. The most profound knowledge that you can attain is that your whole existence flows forth inexorably from a universal process which is always from within out. And so, what it's calling us to do is to go within and to meditate, to sing our sacred chants, sing songs like Norma and I opened with today, joining Rebecca in sound healing and making sounds out of our voices, right? Attending the things that open our heart more and more and more so that we can deepen and deepen our relationship with this high consciousness. And then we are participating. We're participants as healers for this collective consciousness. That's why we don't watch the news over and over and over, but maybe check in to make sure we are prayerful and we can really visualize. Right? The people right now we know are personally from Gaza walking out to Egypt to no homes right now. A 5-hour window before the fighting starts. With no money, poorest of the poor are leaving to go to a separate country with their children, their dogs, their lives, and leaving everything they've worked for. That's happening in the midst of us right now. So I think we need to be a conduit today through prayer, envisioning that the Egyptians are waiting, welcoming them into their homes. Can you imagine ever experiencing anything like this, living where we live, from this vantage point? Those are moms, those are fathers, those are children, those are grandmothers, those are grandfathers. So maybe we can hold a prayer of just light, walking with them, that they are safe in passage today. As if we're standing there receiving them into our homes. Jesus urged that in prayer we go into the inner chamber and shut the door. Here there is no one to impress with elaborate prayers. For as Spirit says, God knows what they need before they even ask. Let's not talk about us anymore, getting what we need, or grabbing more of what this limitless bounty is about. Let's send it to them today. Being conduits for this peace for others. Visualizing it, knowing it, affirming it, praying it into existence. In unity, the God source is within us. We dwell much on the concept that life is lived from inside out. There is no separation or definition that harbors fighting, killing, defending territories in the name of God. All of this discord in the world is human-made, built from a consciousness of separation. It's ego-led from personal and religious constructs. Hence, why do you think we've taken the name church off of unity here? That's why we've chosen to do spiritual center. We do not want to be in a vibration of something that has created so much separation and war in this world. The God, source, spirit that lives in me and lives in you doesn't have the ability to kill, displace, torture, or hurt anyone or anybody in the name of God. And I came across this piece that this wonderful meditation teacher wrote, and I'm going to read it word for word, and this is what she said to give us some hope right now. The reason there's so much conflict in the world is because the entire way of understanding life and reality is over. Not everyone has woken up to that fact. And some people with power and position and nuclear weapons and the ear of the media and all these different things are still desperately holding on to a way of understanding life that's based on separation, on false differences, on religious bigotry, on racial hatred, all of these things. It's all over. The technology has completely undermined, and the idea of that anybody anywhere on the planet is different from me, and in just a moment a person can communicate with any culture anywhere, and if you have a heart, you realize that we are all the same. That is the future. However, there is this force that is resisting that future. But the power of the light, the power of the truth, the power of our expanding awareness of our oneness in a greater reality, the old way doesn't have a chance. This is the transition that is going on, and it will become easy. All the saints and masters, unfortunately, have told us that it won't be easy, but it will happen. And that is what we see around us. We see this building conflict, but that conflict itself is proof that there is tremendous power for those who are in the light, and those of us who understand it have an opportunity to live in that light and transform and transcend this world of separation. This is what I'll say to her. There's so much beauty in this world still. You just have to get into nature. You just have to sit by a babbling brook. You just sit and watch a bird in a bird feeder. Just watch how they interact with each other. I have this big fat squirrel right now. It's the fattest squirrel I've ever had. And I have these 3 water feeders for birds, but 2 are filled with seeds and 1 is filled with water. And this thing's so fat that it lays over the side with its fat belly. Like, these things are supposed to be all tight and like worried something's gonna hurt them. I do live in nature. Little fat body legs just lays just with his like head like this, sleeps in the sun on all the seeds, which keeps everybody else from eating his seeds. And doesn't even like get taut in his body, just stays fat and happy and just eats like the laziest thing I've ever seen. And I said, maybe I'm messing with nature here with this guy. He's not, this guy couldn't defend himself against anything. He's like 5 pounds overweight, okay? But he brings me joy. He's my pet. He's my buddy. You know, like he talks to me when I come home. He's always on top of the house. And then he's down, and then he comes to the front glass door and he interacts and he plays this game with Gilly, and to have nature interact, to find the ways in which Spirit is always interacting with us and keeping us soft, keeping us playful, keeping us smiling. It's those little things that have to really just light us up and bask in that light. Noticing all those little miracles every day that's showing up, that's hugging us and guiding us and loving us. This last week, I witnessed a choir performance this last Wednesday night that my daughter sang in at her school, high school, Silver Creek in Longmont. And I'm mesmerized by this music director, and I've told you guys, I've talked about him before. His name is Mr. Skelton. And he's got the biggest music program for the size of this high school. It's unbelievable, but he's just contagious because he loves music. He loves choral music. He loves playing instruments. He always is using different band members to play from the different age groups of the high school. But he also plays the drums. He plays the guitar. He plays the piano. This guy is just a music savant, I mean, really and truly. And when he looks at those kids, he lights up. Hundreds of kids, and knows every single kid's name and loves working with these kids. But he shared this because they had just performed a number written by Rollo Dilworth called Shine on Me, which was the most beautiful song. And he came up afterwards and he said, that arrangement is in the gospel style. Whenever we talk in class about spirituals in class, it's very important that we understand the context in which these art forms came about. He says to the students, I don't want you to think happy when you're singing these songs. It was not brought about by happy times. They were brought about by struggle and perseverance. So instead of envisioning happy when you're singing these songs, I ask them to envision hopefulness and finding hope and singing hope into the crowd that is witnessing this music. And you feel it from these kids. He's teaching them the history that these black people that had those hard times and those difficult times came up with these numbers to help them persevere and get through those rough conditions and hate and awfulness. And he's teaching these kids that don't you understand. You have to understand this. This world is not easy. This world is filled with tribulation, and you have to have deep compassion and understanding that even though the song lifts you and touches you, it came from pain and suffering. And this is a public high school. When I see examples like this, I'm reminded that the heart of God is in people. He's pushing the line as far as it goes when it comes between school and church. Every time I'm there, I'm like, wow, those are some Christian numbers, or that's a very Buddhist number, or he does, the last time I was in a concert, he had all the kids doing harmonics. Harmonics and singing chants of ethereal realms that were about meditation. And you're like, whoa. It just shows you maybe we shouldn't follow the rules. Maybe all these rules have had us walking with blinders on. The only spiritual rules to follow is the soul and the heart. God sent us all directly for this time. We are here. We were chosen to be here. And then later in his talk with all of us, he goes on to say, hold on one second. I got too passionate. Get back to your notes, folks. Follow the rules. Then at one point, Mr. Skelton said to us, I always tell these kids that they are the living and breathing example of their grandmother's prayers. I mean, I'm just sitting there in that crowd considering the world, and all of it was gospel music that night, was them singing these deeply transformative songs. And that example of this man breathing light into the hearts and minds of our future consciousness, of the generations that were leaving after us. If they really understand this, then they'll also know the truth that will set themselves free and others. So we ask, what can we do when we face the tribulations of the world? How can I help? I thought, you know what? First, we have to make our mission to express all that you can imagine God to be through us. The power of God through us. Imagine how vast and possible that kind of healing can be through us. Let us be the standard of achievement and never lower our consciousness anymore. And recognize and take inventory of the blessings we have in our life. Talk about contrast. Say thank you. Live in a state of gratitude. We are so blessed. We are so completely blessed. And we cannot allow ourselves to be belittled by the cry of sacrilege. We can only attain and imagine the power of God within us and share it forward as a universal oneness. Seeing the protection of God, seeing the love of God, seeing UFOs going over the top of this situation and stopping it, whatever it takes. Angels, I don't care what it is. Something intervene in this. So what do we know we can always do? We can pray and meditate together. So that's what we're going to do now for the next 10 minutes together. Become the conduit of Spirit. Bring this peace into our own hearts and extending it outward to others. So as you know, these pews are not best for meditation. If you can sit kind of more on the edge and get your back off the leaning part, it's always kind of good to not be leaning on something. That's why meditation pillows make us sit without a back. Just to become a divine, energetic feel between the ethers of above and the grounding into Mother Earth. So let's just close our eyes and take a few deep breaths in. Bring your attention to the sensations in your body. Plant your feet firmly on the floor, grounding your energy. Start by stretching and wiggling around in your seat, becoming very aware of this God vessel in body. Becoming aware of every muscle, joint, nerve, every cell in your body. Starting at the top of your head. Feeling the loving energy moving down, gently caressing your face. Focusing on the sensations generated in your whole face, mouth, ear structure, and feel it all relax. forehead, cheeks, and eyebrows. And then moving softly down to your shoulders, taking a nice deep breath into those. And as we exhale, moving down into our arms, belly, all of the organs in the body. We want to be conscious of our whole, perfect, physical vessel this lifetime. Until we finally bring all the light down to our feet and beyond, into the ground, into Mother Earth. Focus on your breath. Take long, slow breaths in and out through your nose. Now take a moment to scan your body for any areas of tension or stress. And breathe into these areas and allow the tension to melt away. And now that we're in the still, present moment of peace, let's bring to mind and recall the stories that we have been reading and hearing about in the world right now. The conversations that you have been having and the emotions that you have been feeling about the state of the world. It is normal to feel overwhelmed and anxious in the face of so much chaos and division. We realize that we alone cannot change the course of war or poverty or homelessness. However, Jesus said, when two or more pray together, we can make a difference in the entire world, in our community, and beyond. This is why group meditation is so powerful and important at this time. And now we're going to look at the areas where we can bring more peace into our own vessel, into our own lives, so to be a conduit for the greater peace. Bring to mind a thing in your life that you can bring peace to. What can you do right now to bring resolution and harmony to a situation or relationship in your life right now? Some things that you can do to create peace and harmony in your own life. Here are a few examples. Be more mindful of your thoughts and words. Be more forgiving of yourself and others. Be more compassionate and understanding. Be more kind and generous. Be more patient and slower to react. Become more focused on gratitude and appreciation. And we also have to let go of our need to be right or our need to be validated. Now bring to mind another thing in your life that you can bring more peace to. Make a plan, then see it playing out. And I'm going to give you a minute for you to come up with the thing that you can bring more peace to make a plan of spiritual action and seeing Spirit having it play out in the best and highest good for everyone involved. Now take a deep breath and imagine that you are returning to a place of peace. This place could be anywhere that you feel safe and loved. It could be your childhood home, a place in nature, or even a spiritual realm that you visited in your dreams or in life itself. As you arrive in this place of peace, take a few deep breaths on the inhale and release with a and again. Feel the tension and stress leaving the bottoms of your feet and entering into the earth to be recycled and rejuvenated into healing energy. Now imagine that you are the most relaxed you have ever been. Imagine that you're floating in a warm, nourishing liquid surrounded by gentle, calming waves. You can hear and feel the gentle rhythm of a familiar heartbeat. Spend a few moments here, being in this space of peace and love, feeling nourished and comforted by this warmth that surrounds you. Now imagine that you are breathing in peace and breathing out love. Breathe in peace and breathe out love. Feel the space inside you filling with peace and tranquility. Allow it to expand beyond your body into the ether that surrounds you. You are the breathing peace into all of the situations and relationships in your life that are in need of harmony and balance at this time. You are breathing love into all of the people who are suffering in this world at this time. You are breathing peace and love into all of creation. Spend a few more moments in this state of inner peace. Feel the stillness and the silence. Feel the love and the warmth of light moving from heart to heart, from us as a collective to those who are in need of this love. I am the manifestation of peace. I am the manifested peace. And for those of you who know the prayer of protection, let's say it out loud to the people in Israel right now. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. And the presence of God watches over you. And wherever you are, God is. And so it is. Amen.
So now is our time to take an offering. And I want to say that, do some logistics first and say that we have all these ways to give. And Unity of Boulder is blessed by many people that already do reoccurring donations. But we have an old system that charges about 6% off every donation. And we are switching to one that is less than 1%. So if you get a call from us saying, hey, would you mind, changing systems, it's because we're sharpening our belts and making that happen. And we'll probably be starting those calls this week. And I made it really easy on the website. You can just click buttons. So just be aware of that. But by donating today, you are reflecting your commitment to Spirit. You are taking a step away from all that illusion of the world, all that chaos, and rooting yourself in Spirit. Because nothing in the world really changes without an act of faith. Faith in that Spirit will prevail, faith in community, faith in the heart of humanity. So thank you today for donating and contributing to the vision that is Unity of Boulder, the vision that is no less than the transformation of this world.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing that so eloquently. And thanks to all of you sharing in the unity awareness. That in itself is the most important thing taking place in life. What are we bringing into the collective awareness of humanity from our own awareness? So unity understands our interconnectedness with everything there is, and it's incumbent upon us to open our minds and hearts in such a way that we're always sharing peace and love and compassion. And that's what we're here learning to do, practicing to do every day. So we are really blessed to have this information to put to work in our lives. So now let us bring into our hands, into our minds, into our hearts this gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have Rebecca Praxis to share her amazing music with us once again.
We can't change a problem when we're stuck in its quicksand. Arm in arm, sinking deeper if we don't see a bigger plan. Ooh, be you and now, be the glory of life, standing tall, be the change greatness above your demise? Will you remember the truth instead of all the lies? Will you remember what's right about you instead of what's falling apart? This is where we make change from. This is where we start. Where we start. Where we start. Be you now. Be the glory of life standing tall. Be the change. Be the power of a new dawn. This is where we start. Where we start. Where we start. Yeah. Ooh. Where we start.
So we want you to know that we have prayer partners available to you today. If you're facing a challenge, a prayer partner will come and find you where you're seated, and they'll take you down to our beautiful meditation room and pray with you. We also want to let you know that we have a potluck today. So run out real quick, and then we'll all gather in about 20 minutes and have lunch together and sit together and discuss and visualize and pray together. But we want to end with Let There Be Peace on Earth today. So we're just going to surround these pews in a circle and hold hands. So you just want to get to the outer vein.
Yeah,
Not the full outer, this one right here, where Rebecca
these
is.
aisles.
It's over there, yeah.
That's it. Holding hands.
Very holy, like not wild. Okay, let's see if we can stretch our arms out so we can get everybody. Oh, let's get Zoilita involved. Her prayers are the most important of the whole group. Here she comes. And we even have puppies in here to pray with us, which, you know, those are like, that's like praying twice or three times. All right. And so it is.